Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Graham and this is the Jedi Night's Watch, and today we're going to be doing another Hot Toys figure review, and this one is on Thanos, the battle damage version from Avengers Endgame. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I have reviewed the Avengers Endgame Thanos, the clean version if you will, and that's a really good figure and I like it a lot. So I'm interested to see if this one will catapult itself over that one and be the best version of Thanos that we have to date. I don't know. The two things that really kind of pushed me over the edge to wanting to get this figure were the Diorama Base and of course that nano gauntlet that comes with this Thanos. And who doesn't like battle damage versions of Hot Toys, right? So before we get going here, I want to invite you to smash that like button if you enjoy these videos. It really helps the channel a lot, and it tells YouTube that you like the content that I'm providing for you. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, be a part of the watch, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. Alright, taking a look at the art box that this guy comes in, we have it looks like a photoshopped portrait of Thanos on the cover, like almost like a dry brush was gone over the image with it. And it is the typical Avengers Endgame box. We've done a ton of reviews on these guys, so they are all the same. And it's got a different image from the previous Thanos, but they also kind of swapped the colors. So they swapped the yellow with the purple and just kind of reversed colors just to make the box a little bit different. And I'm all for it. It looks cool. It looks like a great photo of Thanos on the front here, and he's all just angry and pissed off and wanting to get the Avengers. So, you know, it's so far so good. I like it a lot. So we have Avengers Endgame logo in the middle. This is going to be MMS 564. One thing that I wish about these boxes with these Hulks or these Thanos, these pretty much like quarter scale size figures, or the bigger figures that are in 1/6 scale, I wish the boxes were a little sturdier. I wish they were made of thicker material. I wish they were done a little bit different, because this guy is really heavy in the box, and I'm assuming a lot of that weight is going to be that Diorama Base. So I just wish that the box was a little bit sturdier. It's really flimsy. It's just a lot going on here. You know, when you open the flaps, they just bend really easily, and I don't know, just because of all the weight that's going on, I do wish that the box was just a little bit different here. But it is going to be a slip over cover, and when we remove that, we do have a nice window display where you can see the figure in all of the packaging. And when we take him out of that, we get our first look at the figure. There is going to be almost like three trays here. We have the top with the sword in the hands, and then the figure and the accessories are in the middle, and then below that we also have the Diorama Base. Getting our first glimpse of the figure, he looks pretty cool. I'm not sold on this new head sculpt, so we're going to compare this Thanos with the clean version, and we'll compare the head sculpts, and by the end of the video I'm hoping to decide which one I like better. But before we look at the figure, let's take a look at the base and accessories that come with it. And here we have the Diorama Base that comes with our Thanos figure, and it looks pretty cool. I love these Diorama Bases. I love it that Hot Toys is doing this more and more. This just adds to the figure. So I don't know if I'm going to use this for Thanos, but I'm definitely going to use it for some of my Avengers. It comes with a crotch cradle and then a transparent pole, which I do like because the black is just, you know, it's kind of an eyesore, but it just makes me wonder why wasn't this done in transparent material as well. You know, just make the whole thing clear. So I'm not really sure about that. But let's move this to the side. Here we have our base for Thanos, and I know a lot of people have said, what is with the pole hole right here? Like, if you have him facing the camera right now, his feet would kind of be like here, and he wouldn't be able to stand. And the only other way to do it is if his feet are on these two rocks. So it is just kind of odd on where they put the hole for the pole. I would think you would move it maybe right back here so that he could be standing here on the base, but I guess not. So looking at it, it's got a really cool paint application, really good detail to the rocks, and you can see, you know, just texture going on right here, and nice flat rocks on top so that he can stand. And when we look from the side here, we kind of lose some of the detail. It looks like Hot Toys just kind of gave up a little bit, or like we're focused on the top part, but when we're looking at it on the shelf, we kind of get this soft edge here of the rocks, and we lose some detail there. So it's still a really cool base, and I like it a lot, but it probably could have been done a little bit better. If you're going to go all out on a figure, especially a battle damaged figure, let's go all out on the base as well. But overall, this is still one that I'm going to definitely incorporate into the collection. So very, very happy to have it. Now let's take a look at the accessories that come with our battle damaged Thanos. And here we have all the accessories that come with our battle damaged Thanos. And a lot of these are going to be familiar. They're going to look like, you know, the last version. I do believe all the hands are actually going to be the same. So let's just quickly take a look at one of them here. They don't look extra dirty or anything like that. Maybe a little dark around the fingernails, but nothing that is visibly noticeable. But they do have a nice shine to them, like almost like a glistening in the skin going on. So they are done really well. You know, here you can kind of see a little bit of dirt and maybe in the fingernails, but I do believe they're the same sculpt as previous version. I don't think any of them are going to be different. We do have his sword, and it's going to be, again, the same as the last one. We have really nice detail, really nice pattern and swirl going on in the metal, and just different tones of grays going on just to make it look like a real blade. And then on this side, the difference is obviously that part of it is broken off, and you do have this kind of like reddish pink going on where it's like heat treated and it just got like sliced off by something really hot. So that's really cool that they kind of did that to the sword itself. We do have his helmet, which is battle damaged. Look at that. You just have all that stuff going on right there. Got all the damage here. And this looks really cool. Something that they did from the last version also is they have these foam pads in here, so you don't have to worry about ruining the paint application on the head sculpt. But this looks really nice. Some of the damage in the black looks toyish, I guess, but I mean, I get it. Like, this is a black material, so what do you want it to look like? But I don't know, some of that, even on the figure itself, just looks maybe a little soft. The thing that really made me want to get this figure is right here, and it's the nano gauntlet, and it's kind of like crushed because it's been through battle. And again, just a lot of detail going on here. It's definitely not pretty anymore. And you can see the infinity stones are missing, and it comes in the snap version, so that's really cool. If we pop it off, you do have an LED bulb here, so that can pop into that one with the actual infinity stones in it, but then it just kind of pops back on, and then you do have some movement here. And it just pegs right into the arm, and this just pops off here, and you have your battery compartment and on-off switch there, and it just kind of pops back in. So there you have the Infinity Gauntlet. And something really cool that Hot Toys did was they gave you another hand with articulated fingers, and it's got the Infinity Stones in it, so you can kind of do whatever look you want here with your Thanos. And just, again, really good detail going on in the hand, just like crumpled up metal going on, and again, that pegs in to the rest of the gauntlet. And you can't get them in the exact snap pose, but you know, at least you can kind of do something along the lines with it. So I'm really excited that they give you one without the stones and then one with the stones, just because it just gives you more that you can do with the figure. So really great selling point right there is having the nano gauntlet. Now we have this head sculpt of Thanos, which is exactly like the previous one, and it looks pretty much the same, except you're gonna have the battle damage, you're gonna have the cuts and the blood and some of like the darker marks. It also has, again, more of like a glisten to it, like he's sweating, like he's, again, in battle and just sweating everywhere. So that's really cool. I love how they done it with the teeth. I said that last time too, how they did a separate piece so that it's actually not flush with the lips, just makes it look more natural. And this is a really good head sculpt, and I really like it a lot. And then this is the completely new head sculpt we get and it's like the shocked Thanos look when he realizes that he doesn't have the Infinity Stones and that Tony Stark does. I'm not sure how I feel about this one yet. I know a lot of people love it. I'm just not sure, like, I feel like you can only really do one pose with this head sculpt. So I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. It's pretty cool how the mouth is open though, and they actually like have teeth in there. The eyes look good. It's a good sculpt. I just don't know how I feel about it personally. But let's compare the two head sculpts to the previous version. All right, so here we have the Endgame clean and the Endgame battle damage, and you can just see this one's a lot shinier, just glistens in the light, which is really cool. And then obviously the battle damage paint application looks exactly the same. He's just got a couple of dark marks there too, like dirt or bruising going on. So this is a really good head sculpt, and I'm happy with the battle damage version. But now let's take a look. So we have the normal kind of stoic face, and then this kind of blank shocked stare here. I don't know. I just think this one works really good for a lot of poses, where this one, we'll see. You know, I'll get into some poses and we'll see. But you can definitely see, again, just a difference here. This one almost looks a little narrower in the face, but could be because kind of the mouth is open. But they both look really good. I'm a big fan of this head sculpt, so I think this one's just going to take some getting used to. All right, well, without further ado, let's get our first look at the figure. And here we have our first look at our battle damage Thanos, and he looks pretty cool. He's got a lot of blood going on the arms. His armor is just crinkled again and damaged and broken. He's got that new head sculpt going on with that shocked look. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in getting like this one with the clean version side by side, so that I can like see exactly what's different, what's going on here. You know, you can see he's missing one of his shoulder pieces and the straps that went around his biceps. And on the back, he does have some damage going on as well, unlike the Mark 85 Iron Man that everybody was worried about. So yeah, let's get him off the turntable now and get a closer look. And here we have a close-up look at Thanos, and you can just see all of the detail going on in the armor itself. A lot of people said this was kind of soft and the detail wasn't really there. I get what they're saying. Like when you get up close to it, like it's kind of just black. You know, there's not like a lot of detail going on. I think it's the worst in like the black areas. Let's flip them over here. Like it just kind of looks like somebody took a lighter or something and just kind of melted black plastic, in my opinion. I'm not sure how they could have done it differently, to be honest. It's not as good as I was hoping it would be. Like it's good, but I just think the clean version almost maybe looks better. It just maybe shines better. And I mean, this is like the part of the movie where obviously he's getting beaten. So I don't know, part of me almost likes that other version better because it's the Thanos I want in my collection. I kind of want him to be that strong villain, you know, at the peak of his villainous career. And this is kind of like, and maybe that's why I don't like this head sculpt. It's not that I don't like it, but maybe it's kind of throwing me off because it's showing almost like weakness in Thanos. And to me, like, I think I'm going to stick with more of like this head sculpt because he's intimidating. He's ferocious. He's on the prowl, and I don't know. Again, I just think there's limited uses for this, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm just on something here. But, you know, you get some, like, almost pinkish, like, a rose gold colors in the armor, which is really nice. On the arms themselves, you can see blood, which is a really cool effect here that Hot Toys added. This shoulder piece is magnetic, so you can kind of move that on and off as you will. He does have these black flaps again, so just be careful if you try putting them in a dynamic pose or a sitting pose. And if these are bent out for long periods of time, they will stay like that. And you may have to take like a heat gun or something to try and, you know, take care of that again. But, you know, going down, he's kind of got like this black nylon underneath. So, you know, he should be able to pose on some pretty good poses. He's got some scuffs and dings and dents going on the legs. If we flip him over again, you know, there's a little bit going on there too. You know, we did articulation on the last one, so I'm not really going to do it here too much. He is going to be on ratchets, so if I can, there we go, without hitting my camera here. But yeah, I mean, he looks good. I'm just not blown away by the battle damage on this one. So as of now, I'm just not sure, but let's get the other Thanos out here so we can just kind of compare the two and maybe, you know, talk this out a little further. And here we have the two Thanos standing side by side, the battle damage on the left and the clean version on the right. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm struggling with this one. I was really hoping that the battle damage version would blow me away, but I don't know. Something about the clean version just, it has me liking it a little bit more. Like, I don't know, he just kind of stands out a little bit more. He's, again, it's more of like he's still kind of at the top of his game and he's not beaten, and I don't know, he looks just a little bit more imposing, but yeah, that could just be me. I don't know. It's hard to explain that, but you can definitely see the differences in the armor, especially in the upper part of the armor in the chest and shoulder area where, you know, Thanos is missing, again, those straps on the biceps. He's missing one of the shoulder plates. His helmet's a lot more damaged as well, and you just see a lot of the scratches and crinkles and everything going on in the shoulders and in the chest. He's got the blood on the arms, which is different. Yeah, they're both really good figures. The legs are definitely a little bit more weathered than the clean version, as well as even the feet. So they did a good job of just kind of distributing it amongst the whole body. The gauntlets look pretty clean. I kind of wish those were a little bit more weathered or battle damaged, but I mean, he looks good. I do think I'm going to pose him without the helmet on, so let's get a look here at them without the helmets on. Alright, so we just tried to change up the pose here. I just took the helmets off, added the nano gauntlet to the battle damage version, and they both have the angry face on. The nano gauntlet is really cool, and it's going to be on this figure for me. But another disappointment that I have with the figure is, how come Hot Toys couldn't add an already sculpted bent arm for us like they did with the Infinity War Thanos, so that you don't have like the rubber kind of not wrinkling, but it's yeah, I mean, when you're bending the arm, it's kind of folding and wrinkling and kind of, it just looks bad. Plus it's almost like a single bend, so you can't even get it into like the full-on snap pose that you would really like. That's as far as I can bend the arm inward, so it just looks a little unnatural. Hot Toys should have given us an already bent arm. I know it probably would have knocked the price up a little bit, but I'd rather do it that way and get it right and pay a few dollars more than, you know, kind of having it look like this. So again, that's a little bit more of a letdown for me as well. Alright guys, so before we get into the likes and dislikes about the figure, I just gotta say, since I've been taking some time and getting him into some cool poses, I have really grown to really love this figure, and I do think it's really awesome and worth getting. So I know I've kind of been a little bit up and down on it throughout the video. I just wasn't sure, and I think part of it is because I've had the clean version first, so I think it would be different if I didn't have a Thanos at all, and this guy would just be like blowing my mind. But maybe because I've seen some of this stuff before, I think that's just maybe why I didn't fall in love right away. But just wanted to throw that out there. So starting with the things that I really like about the figure, the first thing would be that Hot Toys included a diorama base. I know I said earlier that I was going to probably use this for other figures in the collection, but man, seeing some of these poses on this rock platform, I don't think I can take him off of here. I think I'm going to pose him on the shelf on this rock formation, probably with his sword and his helmet, and almost make it like a statue slash diorama piece. It just looks amazing. The second thing that I really like is that Hot Toys included the nano gauntlet. Yes, I know they kind of have to, because being that this is battle damage Thanos, this is when he had the nano gauntlet, but it's still really cool to see him with it. And the other cool thing is that they also included a snapping sculpted hand so that we don't have to try and get him into the snapping pose. But then secondly, they give you a different articulating hand with the infinity stones in it. So it just kind of gives you a lot more that you can do with the figure. And I'm really, really excited about that. The third thing that I really like about the figure is actually going to be the new head sculpt. I think it looks really cool. Is it limited? Maybe a little bit, but the more you kind of get used to it, the better it looks, and it really is a stunning head sculpt. So I'm very, very happy with this head sculpt that Hot Toys included. It's a very iconic moment in the movie, so it works wonders. Now for the things that I didn't like so much. The first thing would be that the battle damage on the figure itself is a little soft. There could have been a little bit more detail, I feel, especially in the black areas where it almost just looks like melted rubber. Is it bad? No, not by any means. Could it be better? Yeah, probably. So, yeah, that's all I would say about that. The second thing that I didn't really like was the fact that the base is a little almost like halfway finished or unfinished. The top looks really good, but then when you get on the edges and the sides, it's just like it all blends together. There's no depth or detail, and it almost looks like it's unfinished. And the third thing that I dislike about the figure is I wish that Hot Toys would have included the bent arm with the nano gauntlet on it, so that the snap pose would just look more natural. I feel like his arm just doesn't bend in far enough for it to look like the natural snap pose, and the rubber in the elbow area it kind of folds and creases and doesn't look right. Plus, I'm worried it's going to get ruined over time if you leave him in that pose for long periods of time. So just like Infinity War, it would have been awesome if they included an already sculpted bent arm for us. It would have been just put this thing over the top. And one bonus thing that I really like about this figure is whenever the head pops off or the hands, I love hearing that pop sound. Plus, they all pop on and pop off really easy, so that always just makes the figure so much more fun when you're not like fighting to change hands and whatnot. So thank you, Hot Toys, for that. All right, guys, well, that's it. Hey, it took me some time, but after putting this guy into some awesome poses, I am definitely a believer. He is going to stay in the collection, and I'm probably going to ship out the clean version to someone else out there. So yes, I think this is awesome. I think you should get him. Now, if you have the clean version, do I think you need this one? Not necessarily. I think you could live without it, but it all depends. Are you more a fan of the battle damage, or do you like the clean armor? I am in a little bit of a predicament now because I have the battle damaged Thanos, but I have the clean Mark 85. Do they go together? I don't know, but I guess we'll see what happens. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure, what you thought of this video, and what is your favorite Hot Toys Thanos? I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new content coming your way. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.